Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 10 Minute Tuesdays, where we take on career development in 10 minutes or less at a time. My name is Heather Rickrell and I work in career services at the university. This week's episode is going to talk about cover letter resources on the career services website. But before we get into that, I want to talk just really briefly about what the cover letter does for you in the application materials. So, the cover letter almost always accompanies your resume, and the cover letter is really your chance to tell the employer how you can be the game changer for them. So you're trying to make the case that how could they possibly hire anybody else, right? So some tips would be to make sure you do some research on the organization or the company so that you have a good idea of the mission, maybe their philosophies and values. And if you can connect your own philosophies and values within that, then the company is more likely to bring you on board. You want to make sure your cover letter isn't just a written out version of your resume. It should give the employer more context, more insight into you, um, as well as it should help them understand sort of why you're interested in the position. Where does your enthusiasm come from? What's your tie, your connection to either the work or the company? So I do want to talk a little bit about what's on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. It's being pretty slow. That's all right. Should be popping up here in a second or two. Okay, looks like we're there. So you can get to Career Services website in two different ways: Campus Life, Career Services, or you can type into the search bar. Usually it's being slow, and it'll pop up that way. You can hit search and grab the first thing that comes up. Here we go. Now you'll see in the yellow banner right under the career services large words here: resumes and letters. Click into that. And from there you see it lands on the resumes page, but next tab over is cover letters. So we'll click on that. And it brings you to the page that's all about cover letters. So before I get into the basic cover letter piece, there are some good videos and pieces here about what the cover letter is and does for you. There's also a video over here on the resumes page. The videos all got posted on the resumes page so that people find it. You also have access to LinkedIn Learning via the campus logins page. And LinkedIn Learning has a lot of great information, videos, and such on writing cover letters too. So be sure to hop on over and check that out. Um, as far as what's on the website for you to use, I recommend, if you are in teaching, that you look at this cover letter. If you're looking at internships, this might be a good place to start. Otherwise, clicking into the basic cover letter is recommended for everybody. So your cover letter is going to be, while this loads here, hopefully, it's going to be your basic business professional letter format. You should have the same heading and name block as your resume does. For the date, it should be something very close to the date that you apply. It looks a little weird to the employer if that date is kind of far out from when you applied. And then the name, title, organization, address of the place to which you're applying goes in the name block right here. And you're going to put address the letter to somebody. And if you don't have an actual name or person, you want to use something like Dear Hiring Committee, Dear Search Committee, Dear Human Resources, or put the organization's name, Dear University of Wisconsin Superior, Dear Maplewood School District, whatever it happens to be. It's pretty simply laid out from here. You're going to write about why you're writing in the first paragraph. The middle paragraph is your sales pitch. It's all about what you have to offer. And then you might have more than one middle paragraph. That's okay. And your final paragraph is going to be sort of your thank you, contact information, follow up, that sort of stuff. You want to make sure that you sign the cover letter to do an electronic signature if at all possible. So your cover letter is going to be submitted oftentimes with a resume, as I mentioned at the top of the episode. And that's pretty critical as far as what the employer sees and notices about you. So you want your documents to look, somewhat similar. So try to have the same font size and font type there. So that is what's up on the Career Services website. If you need your cover letter looked over, feel free to use Career Services drop in virtual hours. They are happening every day in the spring term, Monday through Friday. So feel free to find those. That's it for this episode on cover letters. Thank you for joining us this week for 10-Minute Tuesdays, where we take on career development in 10 minutes or less. I'll see you next week. Take good care out there.